Every morning, your alarm goes off and something subtle happens. Before you even leave the bed, your mind is already under attack. Emails waiting, bills due, people to answer, notifications screaming for your attention. Most people roll over, grab their phone, and hand the entire day to the outside world in the first 30 seconds. But a Stoic doesn't start the day that way. Marcus Aurelius used to remind himself each morning that the world would be difficult, so his mind would be ready, not surprised. Modern neuroscience says the same thing in a different language. Those first minutes after you wake up are when your brain is most open to programming. So here's the truth. If you don't choose your first thoughts, someone else will. In this video, you'll learn 7 powerful things to tell yourself every single morning, so you walk into the day grounded, disciplined, and unshakable. If you're ready to stop waking up on autopilot, comment, "I control my morning. I control my day. 1. I control how today feels." Most people wake up and immediately surrender the emotional tone of their entire day. One message from a coworker, one stressful deadline, one careless comment from someone they love, and suddenly their mood is hijacked. They spend the next 12 hours reacting, absorbing, overthinking, and drowning in feelings they never consciously chose. But a Stoic sees mornings differently. A Stoic knows that before the world speaks, you get to speak to yourself first. When you start the day with the declaration, "I control how today feels," you're not pretending life is perfect. You're reclaiming authorship. You're reminding your mind that emotions don't fall from the sky. They're shaped by interpretation, focus, and perspective. Viktor Frankl once wrote that between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power to choose. The modern world trains us to forget that space. Stoicism trains us to protect it with our life. Think of the last time you woke up and instantly felt overwhelmed. Maybe you scrolled your phone and saw someone's life that looked more successful than yours. Maybe a notification reminded you of something you still haven't finished. Or maybe nothing happened at all. You just felt heavy for no reason. Most people see these moments as random emotional weather. Stoics see them as a moment of choice. When you say, "I control how today feels," you're not demanding a perfect day. You're telling your mind, "My emotions serve me. I don't serve them." And that single shift changes everything. The method. The 10-second ownership rule. Right when you wake up, before you touch your phone, before you check anything, sit up, put your feet on the ground, inhale slowly, and take just 10 seconds to claim your mindset. In those 10 seconds, ask yourself 3 questions. What emotion do I want to feel today? What will I focus on no matter what happens? What meaning will I give to challenges when they arrive? This is not positive thinking. This is emotional architecture. You are designing the lens through which the whole day will unfold. For example, if you choose clarity, you'll notice your mind organizing instead of spiraling. If you choose gratitude, you'll find yourself seeing opportunities instead of problems. If you choose strength, difficulties start becoming signals rather than threats. A real morning application. Imagine waking up and seeing a stressful email waiting. Normally, you'd tense up immediately, heart rate rising, energy draining. But today, before checking anything, you've already told yourself, "I control how today feels." That email no longer dictates the tone. Your intention does. Instead of spiraling, you breathe, plan, and move. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond with clarity. And even if the day throws 10 more problems at you, the ground beneath you stays steady because you set the emotional temperature first. Why this works your mind follows the first command you give it. If you wake up and say nothing, the world chooses for you. But if you wake up and speak with purpose, your brain aligns its attention, filters, and reactions around that declaration. You're not controlling the day, you're controlling your role in the day. and that's where real power lives. Affirmation: my emotions are my choice. 2. Nothing disturbs my peace without my permission. There's a reason this declaration comes early in your morning ritual. Because most people lose their peace long before they lose their time. The moment they open their phone, their calm is gone. The moment someone's tone feels off, they internalize it. The moment life throws a delay, an inconvenience, or a criticism, their inner world collapses. But peace is not something the world gives you. Peace is something you protect. When you start the morning telling yourself, "Nothing disturbs my peace without my permission," you're drawing a clear boundary between your inner state and the chaos outside. You're reminding your mind that calm isn't fragile. It's guarded. And unless you open the gate, nothing gets inside. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the mind adapts and turns every obstacle into fuel. But that only works if the mind is steady enough to observe before reacting. Peace is not passivity, it's clarity. It's the space you create so you can choose your response instead of being captured by impulse. Think about how easily we let small things ruin our day. Someone cuts us off in traffic, instant irritation. A coworker sends a short message, we assume negativity. Someone ignores our text, we begin overthinking. A stranger online leaves a rude comment, we let it sting for hours. None of these people have real power, but our untrained reaction gives them access. Stoicism teaches that you are the gatekeeper of your mind. You decide what enters, what stays, and what passes through. When you say, "Nothing disturbs my peace without my permission," you're stepping into that role with intention. The inner gatekeeper technique. Right after your first declaration of the day, close your eyes and visualize your peace as a fortified inner space, your mental citadel. It's not a fragile glass room, it's a fortress built with stone. Outside it, the world is loud, messy, unpredictable. Inside it, you choose stillness. Then ask yourself 3 grounding questions. Who or what usually disturbs my peace? Do I actually want those things controlling my mood today? What will I do the moment I feel my peace slipping? By answering these questions in the morning, you pre-program your reactions for the entire day. You don't wait for chaos to decide how you'll respond. You decide before chaos arrives. A real-life example. You wake up, and before you even drink water, you see a message from someone who often stresses you out. Normally, that alone would send your mind spiraling. You'd carry tension into your morning routine, your commute, your conversations. But not today. Today, your first words were, "Nothing disturbs my peace without my permission." So instead of reacting, you breathe. Instead of replying instantly, you wait. Instead of letting their urgency become your urgency, you choose your own pace. What used to invade you now stops at the door. And if your boss snaps at you later, or someone tries to provoke you, or life throws delays into your schedule, you maintain your center. You're no longer tossed around emotionally by other people's moods or mistakes. Everything passes through a filter. Does this deserve access to me? Most things won't. Why this works? Your brain is shaped by what you rehearse. When you rehearse stress, you find more stress. When you rehearse peace, you find more peace. This declaration trains your nervous system not to fire impulsively at every external trigger. The world remains chaotic, but you remain unshaken. Because your peace is not free. It is earned, and it is protected. Affirmation: my peace is protected. 3. I focus only on what I can control today. If there is one source of unnecessary stress that quietly drains people every single morning, it's this. They wake up trying to manage things that are not theirs to manage. They try to predict how others will behave. They worry about outcomes they can't fully influence. They rehearse future scenarios in their head, most of which will never happen. They carry the weight of other people's expectations, reactions, and emotions. By the time they finish breakfast, their mind is exhausted, not from doing anything difficult, but from fighting battles that were never theirs. Stoicism offers one of the most powerful antidotes to this mental chaos: the dichotomy of control, the ability to separate what is yours from what is not. When you declare in the morning, "I focus only on what I can control today," you're not simplifying life, you're sharpening it. You're choosing clarity over noise, direction over distraction, alignment over anxiety. Epictetus taught that freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control what lies outside your power. Most people hear this and agree. Yet every day, they continue living as if everything depends on them. But it doesn't. And the sooner you accept that, the lighter your life becomes. The 3 circles. Map right after your morning declarations. Take a moment to separate the day into 3 circles. Circle 1, what I can control. My effort, my attitude, my words, my priorities, my boundaries, how I respond under pressure. This is where your energy multiplies. Circle 2, what I can influence but cannot control outright. Conversations, negotiations, teamwork, opportunities, relationships. This is where your energy guides but never dominates. Circle 3, what is completely outside my control. Other people's opinions, their reactions, their decisions, the economy, traffic, delays, random events. This is where your energy dies if you invest it. When you draw these lines clearly in your mind each morning, you stop living like a victim of circumstance and start living like the architect of your own clarity. A real-life application. Imagine you're heading to work. A project's deadline is tight and your team isn't fully aligned. Normally, you'd panic or mentally rehearse all possible ways things could fail. But not today. Today, your declaration is, "I focus only on what I can control." So instead of spiraling, you ask yourself, what part of this situation is mine? Your preparation? Yours. Your communication? Yours. Your quality of work? Yours. Your attitude toward pressure? Yours. Your clarity in guiding others? Yours. Your team's pace? Not yours. Your boss's mood? Not yours. The deadline itself? Not yours. The unpredictable problems? Still not yours. Suddenly, the fog lifts, the anxiety drops, and you begin the day with direction instead of dread. Why this works? Your brain can only hold so much at once. When you force it to monitor things outside your control, it becomes overloaded. But when you narrow your focus to what is actually yours, your cognitive load decreases, your discipline increases, and your confidence climbs. Because you're no longer trying to fight storms you cannot stop. This declaration doesn't just improve your morning. It upgrades your entire identity. You stop being reactive. You stop being overwhelmed. You stop being pulled by everything that moves. You become centered, deliberate, and powerful. Affirmation, attention is power. 4. My value is not measured by today's results. There is a silent pressure that most people wake up with, an invisible weight that sits on their chest before they even step out of bed. It whispers, if today doesn't go well, you're falling behind. If you don't perform perfectly, you're failing. If you don't accomplish enough, you're not enough. This is why so many mornings feel heavy. People begin the day already feeling inadequate. But a Stoic refuses to let the scoreboard of a single day define their self-worth. When you declare, "My value is not measured by today's results," you're cutting the cord between your identity and the unpredictable outcomes of life. You're reminding yourself that your dignity, your character, and your worth come from your intentions and actions, not from the world's applause or its silence. Seneca wrote that a wise person is satisfied with the quality of their effort, not the outcome. And this idea is radical today, because modern culture worships results. Promotions, likes, achievements, income, people use these as measuring sticks to judge themselves. They chase validation and crumble when they don't get it. But results don't tell the whole story. They never have. A good day doesn't make you superior. A bad day doesn't make you inferior. You're not a graph. You are a human being. The Stoic detachment method. Separate worth from outcome. Each morning, after you say this declaration, visualize your day like a field of small tasks and challenges. Some will go well, some won't. Some will exceed expectations, others will disappoint. But imagine that all of these things float around you, never inside you. Then remind yourself of three truths. My worth is rooted in my character, not my performance. My job is effort. Results belong to the universe. Failure today is data, not identity. This separation may feel subtle, but it changes everything. When you no longer tie your value to outcomes, you stop fearing mistakes. You stop avoiding difficult tasks. You stop hesitating. You stop trying to be perfect. You become courageous enough to act because you know that no matter what happens, you don't lose yourself. A real-life example. Let's say you're working on a goal, getting a promotion, running a business, improving your health, rebuilding your finances. You might have a day where you try your best, but things don't move the way you hoped. Someone changes their mind. A deal falls through. Your body feels slow. Something unexpected interrupts your schedule. Without this declaration, you begin spiraling. Why am I not enough? Why can't I get this right? What's wrong with me? But with this declaration, your mindset shifts. I showed up with integrity. That is success. Progress is built on effort repeated, not perfection. Today's results don't define me. My discipline does. Instead of breaking your spirit, the setback becomes a page in the story, not the whole book. This is how Stoics become unshakable, not because they win all the time, but because their identity is not fragile. They don't collapse when life doesn't approve of them. Why this works: your nervous system becomes calmer when you stop using results as proof of your worth. Your creativity increases because you no longer fear judgment. Your resilience grows because mistakes stop feeling catastrophic. You become more consistent because you stop quitting every time things don't go your way. This declaration turns pressure into perspective. It lets you start the day free. Free to try, free to grow, free to evolve. You're not living to fix today. You're living to strengthen who you are. Affirmation: I show up with integrity. 5. I act, not just intend. If there is one truth that separates people who grow from people who stay stuck, it is this: most people intend to change. Very few act on that intention. Every morning they say things like, I should start working out. I need to fix my finances. I really want to improve my life. I'll do it later when things calm down. But later is a graveyard where dreams go to die. The mind loves intentions because intentions feel good, safe, comfortable, noble. But intentions don't build anything. Actions do. When you wake up and declare, I act, not just intend, you're making a promise to yourself that separates you from the average person. You're rejecting the illusions that trap most people, the illusion of someday, the illusion of when I feel ready, the illusion of when I have more time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop planning your life and start living it. The psychology behind this declaration. Your brain has two modes every morning. Comfort mode, driven by emotion. Easy, familiar. It whispers, not now. Action. Mode driven by clarity. It doesn't care how you feel. It asks, what is the next step? Most people stay in comfort mode because they're waiting for motivation. But here's the truth. Motivation is the reward of action, not the prerequisite. You don't get motivated and then act. You act, and motivation follows like a shadow. So when you tell yourself, I act, not just intend, you are flipping a switch in your mind. You're choosing movement over mood, discipline over desire, progress over perfection. The method: implementation, intention. This is one of the most powerful behavioral tools ever created, and the Stoics lived it long before psychology gave it a name. Right after your morning declaration, finish this sentence. When situation X happens, I will do action Y at place R time Z. For example, when I wake up, I will drink water before touching my phone. When the clock hits 9, I will start the project for 20 minutes. When I get stressed, I will take 3 slow breaths before responding. When it's 6 p.m., I will go for a 30-minute workout. You're telling your brain exactly what to do before it faces the situation. This removes negotiation, because negotiation is where discipline dies. A real-life morning example. Imagine you've been wanting to start journaling or exercising or learning a new skill. Every morning you intend to do it, but something always gets in the way. You feel tired, you get distracted, you convince yourself it can wait. But today, you've made your declaration. You don't think about whether you're in the mood. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't try to psych yourself up. You just do the first small action, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even 1 minute. And here's the magic. Once you begin, your brain stops resisting, because action breaks the chain of hesitation. Action silences self-doubt. Action dissolves fear. Action creates momentum, and momentum is more valuable than motivation. Momentum makes you unstoppable. Why this works? Your self-esteem doesn't come from your goals. It comes from keeping your promises to yourself. Each time you act, no matter how small, you build internal trust. You begin to believe in your own capability. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who executes. This changes everything. Your identity shifts. Your confidence grows. Your future becomes something you build, not something you wish for. A Stoic never asks, do I feel like it? A Stoic asks, is it the right thing to do? Then they do it. Affirmation, action first. 6. Every challenge today makes me stronger. Most people wake up hoping for an easy day, a day where nothing goes wrong, no interruptions, no conflict, no unexpected problems. But here's the truth no one likes to admit. Easy days don't build anything. Easy days don't sharpen you. Easy days don't strengthen your mind, your discipline, or your character. That's why this declaration matters so much. When you begin your morning saying, every challenge today makes me stronger, you're rewriting the meaning of difficulty. You're training your mind not to see problems as personal attacks, but as opportunities for power. Because the moment you change the meaning of adversity, adversity loses its ability to intimidate you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle becomes the way, not after the struggle, not when things calm down, but in the very moment the challenge appears. The challenge itself is the training ground. Modern society teaches you to avoid discomfort. Stoicism teaches you to use it. The deeper truth behind this declaration. Your brain is wired for comfort. It wants predictability, convenience, and control. But growth requires friction. Growth requires resistance. Just like your muscles need tension to grow, your mind needs challenges to become resilient. When you say, every challenge makes me stronger, you're turning on a different part of your psychology. The part responsible for adaptation, grit, and mental toughness. You're shifting from victimhood to mastery. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this training me for? And those two perspectives lead to two completely different lives. The method: ask the training question. Whenever something disrupts your day, A rude comment, a delay, a mistake, a rejection, a setback. Pause and ask, what strength is this challenge trying to build in me? Is it patience? Is it resilience? Is it clarity? Is it emotional control? Is it forgiveness? Is it courage? Once you identify the strength behind the struggle loses its sting. It becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. A real morning example. Say you wake up determined to have a productive morning, but suddenly your schedule gets derailed. Maybe your commute is delayed. Maybe a coworker sends a condescending message. Maybe a plan you were counting on falls apart. Normally, this would ruin your mood. You'd carry frustration into everything else you do. Your thoughts would spiral. Your energy would sink. But not today. You've already told yourself, every challenge today makes me stronger. So instead of collapsing into irritation, you pause, you breathe, you shift perspective. Traffic, training patience. A rude message, training emotional neutrality. A setback at work, training problem solving. Unexpected pressure, training self-command. Suddenly, nothing feels like an attack. Everything feels like a lesson. And when your brain believes challenges are training, not punishment, your stress response lowers. You stay composed, you stay centered, you stay sharp. Why this works? This declaration rewires your relationship with adversity. You no longer fear challenges. You no longer resist them. You no longer interpret them as signs of failure. You begin interpreting them as signs of growth, which means instead of shrinking, you expand. Instead of breaking, you harden. Instead of giving up, you level up. Your nervous system becomes more stable. Your confidence rises. Your anxiety fades, because you know you can handle whatever comes. This is the mindset of a warrior. Not someone who wishes for an easy day, but someone who becomes harder to defeat with every obstacle. Affirmation. Challenges train me. 7. I end today better than I started. Most people drift through their days without ever asking themselves a simple question. Am I growing, or am I just repeating? They wake up, go through their routines, handle responsibilities, deal with problems, and then collapse into bed without a moment of reflection. Days blur together, weeks disappear, and years pass without meaningful progress. Not because they're incapable, but because they never pause long enough to direct their growth. Stoicism rejects this passive way of living. Stoicism teaches intentional evolution, the idea that every day is a doorway to becoming just a little wiser, a little calmer, a little stronger than yesterday. That's why this declaration is so powerful. When you say, I end today better than I started, you're setting a North Star for the entire day. You're telling your mind, no matter what happens, good or bad, I will walk into the evening as a more refined version of myself. This removes pressure and replaces it with purpose. You're not striving for perfection, you're striving for improvement. The Stoic principle. Behind this declaration, Seneca once wrote that each day should be examined, corrected, and used as a stepping stone for the next. The goal isn't to impress others or hit unrealistic standards. The goal is to become a little more in control of your mind and a little less controlled by impulse. And when you approach your day with this mentality, everything shifts. A mistake becomes feedback. A conflict becomes a lesson in patience. A disappointment becomes a moment for resilience. A success becomes a reminder of discipline paying off. Suddenly, the day isn't something that happens to you. It becomes something you shape. The method, the Stoic Evening Review, Modern Edition. To make this declaration real, you need a ritual. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be poetic. It just has to be consistent. At the end of the day, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? This reinforces progress and builds confidence. Where did I let emotions or impulses lead me? This builds awareness, not shame. What one thing will I do better tomorrow? This turns weakness into direction. When you answer these 3 questions honestly, growth becomes automatic. The day becomes complete. You close the chapter with clarity instead of chaos. Even if your day was messy, stressful, or disappointing, this simple reflection transforms it into fuel. A real-life example. Imagine you had a rough day. Maybe work was overwhelming. Maybe someone said something that lingered in your chest. Maybe you weren't as disciplined as you hoped. Before this declaration, you might go to bed feeling defeated. You'd carry the weight into tomorrow. You'd assume you're falling behind. But not now. You sit for 1 minute, breathe, and walk yourself through the ritual. You acknowledge one thing you handled well. You identify one moment where emotion got the better of you. You choose one improvement for tomorrow, and suddenly, the day makes sense. It becomes meaningful, not wasted. It becomes part of your story, not a stain on it. This is how people who grow fast actually grow, not through giant leaps, but through quiet, consistent micro-adjustments. Why this works? When your goal is simply to end the day better than you started, you remove the crushing expectation of perfection. You replace it with achievable mastery. You stop quitting after bad days. You stop judging yourself unfairly, and you start building momentum, because small improvements compound rapidly. This declaration gives your mind direction. It turns your day into a training session. It creates identity stability, the belief that no matter what happens, you always move forward. Even 1% a day becomes 37x a year. That is the power of this mindset. Affirmation: 1 step forward. When you speak these 7 declarations every morning, you're not reciting pretty sentences. You're rewriting the operating system of your mind. You're choosing intention over autopilot, clarity over chaos, discipline over distraction. And slowly, without forcing anything, your days begin to feel different. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger, steadier, more centered. This is the quiet power of Stoicism. You stop waking up as a passenger in your own life, and you start waking up as the author of your inner world. Think about what you've just done. You claimed your emotions. You protected your peace. You focused on what you control. You detached your worth from outcomes. You acted instead of intending. You turned challenges into training, and you committed to ending the day better than you started. That's not motivation. That's transformation. That's identity work. That's the kind of discipline that compounds into a different life entirely. So, tomorrow morning, before anyone else's voice reaches you, before the world pulls your attention in 100 directions, take a breath and return to these 7 truths. Let them anchor you. Let them guide you. Let them shape the day ahead. And if this video gave you something valuable, a shift, a perspective, a sense of calm, leave a comment telling me which declaration you're choosing for tomorrow. Like the video, share it with someone who needs a stronger morning, and subscribe for more Stoic lessons each week. I control my morning. I control my day.